I'm live on the World Wide Web and intentionally fresh face, no makeup, day 3 hair, and living my truth because I'm talking about organic skincare for your mood, for your health, for the summer, and the things that I've researched and learned along my personal health journey and what I want to share with everyone else. I get this question all the time about summer skincare and what products I use and how do I make homemade products and do that in a being busy. So I want to show you some quick things that you can do for the summer to improve your health, improve your mood, kind of get back to nature, and you can actually save a ton of money. So who can really argue with that? Let's talk about our skin here. I have a self-reported really funny story. I've been interested in holistic, whole person health, understanding mindset, understanding people, the earth, since birth, and have been reading at this point thousands and thousands and thousands of books and research, and I'm kind of a biohacker and trying things out, and so much so that when I was in middle school in 7th grade, the first presentation, like professional presentation I ever did, we had to give a presentation on to our classmates about something. We had to teach people something. So me just kind of being the person that I am, I was like, okay, what issues are we all collectively dealing with in 7th grade? What is it? How can I help change the nature of my middle school? How can I bring back the power to the people? I've been on this road for a long time. So I'm like, okay, acne. Oh my gosh, I'm going to help cure acne. And so I'm going to do this. So I dug into the research, and at that time you had to go to the library and the encyclopedia and learning about the dermis and epidermis, and just like digging into it. And just, my parents are like, are you okay? Like, you don't have to go this far. I'm like, no, this is going to change everything. So I'm actually still staying in contact with my middle school teacher. Hi, Mrs. Adler. And she's just probably like, oh boy, I saw this coming. So the day of the report, or the day of the presentation, I was kind of bummed because it was a bad time slot. It was right after, it was either right after or before lunch. I was like, ugh, they're going to be really hungry and they're not going to be paying attention. And a couple of people that I'm like really needed this information, they were sick that day or in a different class. I'm like, oh no, they really need this information. So I get there, I'm like, it's okay. There's still 2-3 people in here, still going to be really important. Got to get this information out there. It's going to change the nature of my community and therefore the world. We're going to get this acne under control. So, and so I went into it, and there's somebody sleeping in the class. Everyone else is like, their topics were like cool. Here I am, like, guys, acne, let's get it together. Just like, I had all these diagrams, and I was handing out these, just the different layers of the skin, and like, guys, we can get this under our control. It's within our power. It's really easy. You just do this and this, and this is why it happens. It's expressing itself. It's just like, is she okay? And then, fast forward to this day, I am still playing to a crowd of none. So, I mean, we're all into the things that we're into. I've continued on my journey, so much so that I'm making videos with zero makeup on, and celebrating just really having just really clear skin. I've kind of fought my whole life with this. I've tried all of the things, all of it. So the one thing that you should know, there's no one right way, even what I'm going to tell you today. So what works for one person doesn't work for another, depending on what the root causes of what's going on with your skin. So the understanding that we need to have with skin is it's our biggest organ in the body, and it's going to give us clues as to the nature of our entire health. So if you see different skin conditions like rosacea, um, acne, that's usually an imbalance of bacteria, gut bacteria. So that could be small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, or that could be a low grade infection within the gut. And so it affects, like going back to what I'm kind of continually talking about. Um, and so when you have skin issues, often you will have mood imbalances too, because 95% of your serotonin in the gut is made in the gut. And so the other thing that can happen is you can have a gut brain axis issue. It could be an HPA axis issue, or it could be even more so with like a vagus nerve. If you've been in chronic stress, your vagus nerve needs to be. And we can do the exercises on that later. Needs to be reinforced, and that muscle tone needs to be built up. So there's a lot of root issues, and so getting to a lot of times, individuals will come to me and they'll have skin issues, and it's exciting because we can actually get that under our control. I had cystic acne growing up and tried all of the things, medications, da da da, and the medications impacted my health in a negative fashion, as it does, because it depletes your gut bacteria, and it can turn on genetically some conditions later on down the road that are chronic illness, disease, those sorts of things. The number one thing that you can do with your skin is to have clear skin is to drink more water. Just straight up water. Put some lemon in it. In the summertime, it's fun to put like frozen fruit in that. Use that as ice cubes and eat the fruit later. Getting away from, I'm fine with coffee if coffee works for you. Green tea is amazing. It helps with your metabolism. All kinds of tea, if they're organic, great, because sometimes there's chemicals in non-organic teas that impact our health. So drinking a lot of water, and most people don't drink enough water. So drinking more water, and that's going to help actually with so many other things downstream. You're going to want to eat less, and you'll actually be fuller faster. You'll have more energy, and in the summer you're sweating more. So a lot of the things that are expressing themselves in the body are really just we kind of need to restore back to homeostasis, which is adding in some water. So water, food's another big one. You kind of are what you eat, you are what you eat eats, and that's the only way nourishing your body from the inside out. That's my approach, rather than topically putting stuff on. That's a band-aid approach, and that does work. I mean, cosmetically, I understand, as someone who had severe acne growing up, it really impacts your self-image, and the way that you feel about yourself. When your inside could be just as beautiful as ever, but if it's being expressed outside, note that it's being expressed because there's an imbalance inside. And nourishing, I'm one to nourish from the out. I'm a root issues gal. I get down to the root and what's going on here. And so when you dig into that, it opens up the door. So common food triggers. Gluten is a big one. Gluten's a huge, 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 huge one. We read the book Wheat Belly. Okay, read that. It's not the problem with gluten in itself. It's how our bodies, how grains have changed over time, and all other stuff that's added into gluten. And the gluten-free foods are just as bad because there's a lot of extra sugar, which is the next thing to avoid. Sugar, if you start eating refined sugar, it's gonna seep out of your skin because our bodies are not made to process. At an evolutionary standpoint, we just can't process that much sugar, and it has to go somewhere. The imbalance has to go somewhere, and it comes out in the skin. Same thing for dairy. About 60% of adults don't have the enzyme to metabolize dairy, and true dairy in itself isn't the issue. And I hate that word, but I need to be made accessible to the masses, so I'm going to use standard language. It's what's being put in the antibiotics, the chemicals that's being added, pure like ghee, clarified butter. Great. So if you're having issues with dairy, I do that. Goat's milk is a little bit more, has a little bit less. And then I'm going to say this word wrong, but kefir. But then this stuff, you have to look and see at the label, like what else is being added into it. Sugar, I wrote about this earlier this week. Sugar is being added everywhere to make us sick and to take our mood, to make us miserable. And so that we're perpetual consumers of healthcare and products and services and that kind of thing that, if you feel terrible, you're going to keep looking for a solution, consume more, and you're going to be sick more. So you're a healthcare customer for life, no advertising needed. And I am a former pharmaceutical sales rep. So the tides have turned over here for sure. The other thing that, I see with specifically with individuals with, I'm going to talk about two conditions: ADHD, mood imbalances, and then infertility. I see the additives in the food, like the food colorings, the additives, the stabilizers, the thickeners, which also are in small intestinal bacterial growth. That's really bothering a lot of individuals' skin. And then we'll get into what else. Okay, so what else is impacted by skin and what I'm talking about? This is all about summer skincare, Shannon. Get to it because we need to have this quick and accessible. So summer skincare, first of all, the SPF, the standard SPF that's out there, there's so much research that's coming out, which I'm so glad that it's coming to the forefront, that it's really harming our health. I see this so much with mood cases, ADHD cases, ADD cases, hyperactivity, impulse control, infertility cases. We can take back the power of our fertility. Oh my gosh. But we got to rewind it a little bit and stop putting stuff in us and on us that are making our bodies toxic to ourselves. So standard SPF, this is going to be a tough one because I know a lot of you have loaded up on your summer skincare product. Here's what they're causing. There are endocrine disruptors in there. What's an endocrine disruptor? That is your thyroid, your hormones, your mood. It is endometriosis. It is cancer. It is reduced sperm quality. It's infertility. It's skin allergies. It's skin issues. It's your thyroid disease, and tons and tons of hormone imbalances, PMS, PMDD, anything that can be attributed to your mood, anxiety, depression, and bipolar, OCD, all of these things. You got to go back to, it's not what you just eat, it's also, and put in your body, it's what you also put on your body, because what happens is your skin, being the largest organ, absorbs it and then puts it into your bloodstream. Okay, now you're one with the toxins and it's running around in there with everything else. So the horrible hysterical / actually horrible piece of standard SPF products is it does cause cancer. It keeps you from getting skin cancer, but down the road it can cause skin cancer. So it's like, what? What's the way around it? You can actually make your own and save a ton of money. I do this. I do all of these things and I'm still making my own stuff at home and I'm saving a ton of money. I get so fired up for this. Again, playing to a crowd of none. My mom watches these things, so let's go with it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to post this recipe later. Here is my little suntan, but my on-the-go suntan lotion. And you can actually change the rate of what kind of SPF. So you can do a 12 to 19 SPF and over 20 SPF or a little bit lower by paying attention to the products. So the environmental working group, you can check all the products and the levels of safety of products as being a hormone disruptor, meaning disrupting your life, disrupting your period, disrupting your infertility, your hormones. Your hormones regulate all the processes in your body. And if they're not working correctly, your mood isn't, your skin isn't, your fatigue isn't, you're going to have headaches. I mean, all this stuff It's toxic overload and overburden. So one of the products, and I'm not one to endorse products, but this is one tried and true Everyone lotion. I love this. They've been around for a while, so much so that they're actually selling these in stores now. Usually I have to get products somewhere else, but they're selling these in stores. Yummy, yummy scent. There's nothing harmful in there. Really great lotion. So combine this lotion with zinc oxide that I ordered on the World Wide Web, and combine those together. So I'm going to write up the recipe. You get to make the sunscreen, you put gloves and a mask together because you don't want to breathe it in or touch the zinc oxide. You want to get a little lotion bottle, or you can get a bigger one. You can get like chopsticks or a spoon, stir it up, put it together, and then you stir it up and you put it in a container. I use a funnel to get it into a container, and then it's a sunblock. This is the zinc oxide. If you're, if you lived around the 80s, the white zinc oxide on the nose. This is actually the active ingredient in the sunblock. You don't need anything else. And the lotion just helps spread it out. Reapply often because it works great. I mean, it really works great. If you're getting rashes from your sunscreen or irritation around that, the downside to this is you can't spray it. And the convenience factor, but the upside to it is you're saving money and you're taking back your health. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so this is my summer go-to. I've written about this before, and I will share the recipe with you guys later. What happens when you get a sunburn? Oh my gosh, you put aloe on it. So after you get a sunburn, I have an aloe plant here, and you can just from the earth, you can take a little bit of this and then put it all over. Or you can buy a product that's all aloe. Just look in it. Again, if there's colors in there, if there's additives in there, that's not the product for you. Go to the Environmental Working Group, EWG. There's a website and there's an app that you can get on your phone. The app on your phone you can take with it to the store and scan products and to see what the score is. It's amazing. Okay, what else do I use for the summer? One of the things that I've used for a long, long time is it's kind of a bristle brush, I call it a lymph detox brush. This helps with cellulite. It helps stimulate the lymph nodes. It helps with detox, elimination, getting out toxins from your body. If you have an autoimmune condition, if you have a hormone condition, if you have a mood condition, if you have mold illness, if you have Lyme, all of these things, you need to be brushing your skin every single day with a skin brush. And you work you want to work to get to your heart and center. So you work down and then you work up. This has been a game changer to have a practice. And I have another brush in the other room, which is kind of bigger. I like this one because I can kind of get in there in the nooks and crannies around the lymph nodes. And this just makes your skin a little bit softer, in exfoliating, and it helps with cellulite. And so again, I mean, all of those, this goes back to ancient times. Some of this stuff is tried and true, but yet we're selling all these other products that we really don't need because that keeps you tied up. All right. The other thing I stopped using all skin cleansers, all moisturizers, all all of it. And I just use one thing on my skin. And I use it for everyone. Everyone that knows me knows that I use coconut oil, which I got from Aldi, everywhere. And this has about an SPF of 4 in it, but it's also an antibacterial. So if you have some acne coming up, you can put it on it. It's also moisturizing. So you can kind of leave it on. I use it for lotion. I use it for moisturizing. I make toothpaste out of it. I put it in my hair for a hair mask. I put it all over my body. When I was pregnant, I put it on my belly for stretch marks. I didn't get any stretch marks because of coconut oil. It's kind of getting a bad rap. I'm not going to get into that whole conversation right now, but just putting out some tips and tricks for summer. Okay. What about tanning? Tanning in the summer. Okay. So I've tried a lot of things. I am a recovering tan addict. 80s and 90s, grew up then. We went to tanning beds all the time. It was a thing. You like to have a little bit of a glow in the summer. The one product, and again, I'm not endorsing products, but Let's get some healthy ones out there. Let's support the healthy products out there that are not disrupting our hormones, our lives, our skin, our weight. Again, endocrine disruptor. Ooh, I forgot to touch on this. Your weight. Endocrine disruptors make you gain weight. Okay. So because your hormones are off, you are gaining weight and the inability to lose weight because of the products. One of the best books that has ever been written on this topic is about pregnancy, but everyone in the world needs to read this book. It's called The Better Baby Book. Oh my gosh. So good. So good. So good. So good. I read it even when I wasn't thinking about being a parent, and I read it and I was like, oh my, this book is going to change the world. And my husband's read it. I have all my infertility clients read that. And anyone that's working with their hormones, it's such a great book. Dave Asprey, you're awesome. Okay. This product here, Beauty by Earth. It's one of the more healthy / affordable self tanner products. I buy one of these a year and it lasts and it doesn't have that weird scent. Okay. The other thing that I've done for self tanner is actually just making tea and water and spraying that on my legs or something for a nice exfoliating first, putting that on, then putting on a little lotion. And that's a natural tea. I make all of these. I make so many things. I've got toothpaste that I want to share with you at some point. I'm going to write that down. So toothpaste, a dry shampoo, so many things. And it's fun. It's fun to kind of take back your health. It's also fun to create new recipes for your health and try them out. And the other thing, it's fun to save money because it's once you get enough little like glass containers. Again, you want to make sure. I showed you. I can't find a good glass container, so someone can to squirt this out, the sunblock, because again, you want to look at the chemicals in there, the plastic and the chemicals. So this is my just little summer, really cozy summer skincare video. And it helps with all mood. It helps with your weight to start doing these things. And you please don't feel like you have to get over, you're like, oh, there's so many things, getting overwhelmed. One thing at a time, one change leads into so many change. The ripple effect, just you start to see different areas of your life that you can take back your health, take back your power. I'm going to write more about, I'm going to put these recipes out there. I'm going to write more about endocrine disruptors because I see it in the work that I do all of the time. Another great book for hormones and endocrine disruptors is Woman Code. That's out there. And if you look more in the functional medicine world, all of those individuals, we talk about that more so. And it's information that's not widely known because you're not going to be sold a prescription or a pill or be a perpetual customer we're a customer of coconut oil, I guess, and zinc oxide. But kind of paring this stuff down and looking for the chemicals, especially if you've got children with mood, kind of mood symptoms. So irritability, autism, ADHD, another way to increase and balance out the gut bacteria is probiotics and probiotic foods. And so that actually helps with the skin and balancing that out. And so if your skin is a mess, that is an opportunity to dig into why is that? Okay, what's the diagnosis? Okay, but why? What is that? And dig into that because there's a lot. And speaking as a person who has had a horrible acne growing up and looking for things, there's certainly, I would certainly endorse, I would endorse the makeup or the company 100% Pure. I would publicly put them out there. Their food or their food. Well, their makeup is made out of food. You could actually eat it. And I have, I think BIT is a lipstick company where you could actually eat it. I take great comfort in knowing that if I was in a life or death scenario and I had like my makeup bag with me in the car, I could eat it, right? I could eat it and survive. And that for me is what fits. And it doesn't fit for everyone. They're 100% pure. Their products are a little bit, I would call them a little bit pricey depending on where your price point is. But the thing is that they last really long. And so you're only going to be buying maybe one or two compacts a year. And so there's a lot of other companies. I'm not just saying these are the only companies. There are a lot of other companies that are really taking sustainability and endocrine disruptors into account. And there's so many CEOs and founders out there that are doing the work, and they're really thinking about the packaging. Why do we have packaging in our products that isn't recyclable? Where is all this going? We're going to be living on a trash pile here if we don't kind of get it together. So some of these companies really look into that too, because it really does matter. Our children are going to inherit the earth here. And some of the stuff, we're at a point, not to get into a whole other thing, we're getting at a point here where we can't reverse some of this stuff. So getting back to the earth, and that's what your body wants. Your body wants to be at homeostasis with, how we kind of evolve, rather than like slathering and all these things on. They're nourishing from the outside in. So eating fats, eating good, healthy fats, a lot of water, staying away from the sugar, staying away from the gluten, staying away from the dairy, getting more whole, a more whole diet, whether that's paleo, Whole30, vegan, plant-based, blah, 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 keto, whatever that is for you, you do you. There's many roads to Rome. And I am just trying to throw out, I'm like this jester, just throwing out all of this stuff. It's like, is she okay? Throwing out all of these hot tips with the research that I've done, the lessons that I've learned along my health journey, the clients that I'm working with, and the research that I do, putting it out there, right? It's free information. This is my Wellness Wednesday gift to you, all of my subscribers. And if you have questions, let me know. I'm always open for suggestions for topics. And I wish you well on your wellness journey. There's many entry points into wellness. Pick one, start there, get one healthy habit going, add another. You just keep adding them up. And before long, you've got your own YouTube channel and you're screaming to no one about healthy products, right? Have a great day. I'm ending this before it goes from like really questionable to what?